Welcome to the next lesson, using Instagram to boost traffic, sales and reviews. In this lesson we're going to cover a recap of what you discovered in Module 4 and more advanced Instagram marketing strategies to boost traffic, sales and reviews. So in Module 4 we discovered the power of hashtags and how to republish popular content on Instagram to gain followers. It is also important to be consistent with your posting, at least once per day, and take note of the most effective times of the day to post for your audience. Using the tool Buffer, you can schedule and automate posting to your Instagram profile. And you want to post engaging content and ask questions to boost engagement on your profile. When setting up your Instagram account, use the bio to let people know what your brand is about and include a call to action to click the link in your bio. Then using a free tool, Link in Bio, you can direct people who view your post to the link in your bio and have all your posts linked to external website links. Once you have built up a following on Instagram, you can then leverage your audience to launch new products, get market research on new products, and gain more reviews on demand. You can post in your Instagram feed multiple times per day, targeting relevant hashtags and your own audience with competitions, giveaways, and product promotions. Instagram stories are a highly engaging way of getting your audience to take action and give feedback via polls. When launching products, you can let your followers know via your posts and stories about the upcoming launch and ask them to direct message you if they want to take part in the launch promotion. So Ben & Jerry's do a really good job on Instagram. You can see they've got nearly 1 million followers. They've got their bio, which is Ben & Jerry's Peace, Love and Ice Cream, which is their tagline. And you'll see they're using that Link in Bio tool to link all of their posts to external traffic sites. They've then used the story highlight feature. So they've got values, flavors, recipes, and fun. And as we'll discover, this allows us to make our stories published permanently past the 24-hour window. You'll then see their feed is full of really good, high-quality content with really engaging captions. Lululemon, as many of you will know by now, is one of my favorite brands. They have 3 million followers. You can see they're including their Spotify and Apple Music handle, which really ties into the type of customers that they're going after. And they have their website, explorelululemon.com. And again, they're using story highlights for different areas of their content. So their podcast, and obviously a campaign they're running right now, #BoobTruth. EOS Products, almost 2 million followers. They're using a similar tool to the link in bio, like shop.me. And you'll notice within their bio, they say, enter our next giveaway by tagging #EOS Products. So as we're going to discover shortly, giveaways are a great way to engage your following and leverage that audience to take action. And you can see that EOS, part of their core Instagram marketing strategy, is building up a following on their own #EOS products to give away products when they need to. And then you'll see they're using story highlights to feature different areas of their product range and brand. Sharpie, 300,000 followers. Really great content on use cases of using a Sharpie, inspire the purchasing decision toward buying new Sharpies, and really creative content. Again, they have their website, their tagline, and they're using story highlights to feature different stories they've been posting. So how do we gain followers faster? Well, you should always focus on the quality of followers you're attracting, as ultimately you want them to take the purchasing actions later on. So everything you do has to be focused on generating the right type of following. Here are some ways you can do that. You can use Instagram advertising via Facebook Ads Manager to boost content on your Instagram profile, such as competitions. You could pay relevant Instagram accounts to do a shout out of your profile. And you can work with influencers, as we learned in the last lesson, to run competitions and giveaways where their audience has to follow your account, like your latest post, and comment to enter the giveaway. And don't forget to let your subscribers know in your other marketing channels, such as ManyChat, about competitions you are running on your Instagram account. So when it comes to running competitions and giveaways, you must publish a list of the rules on your website blog and a link to it from your bio for the duration of the competition before running it to be compliant with Instagram's rules. Always make it clear that Instagram is not involved in the contest and include that on the post and in the rules. Do not ask Instagram support for helping running the competitions. They've been pretty clear about this. You have to figure it out yourself. And do not encourage inaccurate tagging. So don't encourage your followers to tag your brand on photos where your brand or product is not included. And when it comes to the prize, As we learnt with our Facebook strategy, always pick an appropriate, relevant, and high perceived value prize that is going to attract the right type of followers. So here are some ideas for running competitions on Instagram. You could do a like and comment to win. So a simple post that tells your followers or the followers of an influencer that you're working with to like and comment on the post, and you'll do a random draw at the end of the month, for example, to pick out the winner. You could post a funny photo and tell the following to caption, and the best caption wins. You can instruct the followers to tag a friend. This is a really good way of expanding your followership once you have a few followers, as most people have friends that like the same things. And if you can get them to share your brand to their followers, it's a modern form of word of mouth marketing. A trivia contest. So let's say maybe you're in the cycling niche or the fishing niche. You could post content and have your followers submit answers to questions in a quiz type format, and the best answers win. Or one that I really like is user-generated content contests. So we can have our followers submit photos of them using our product, and the best photo wins. Not only are you going to increase engagement and the followers as a result of this competition, you're also generating a whole library full of user-generated content that you can use on your website and you can use for future social media content. And finally, Instagram Stories contest. So you can have your subscribers and customers post stories on their own profiles using your product and then tag your brand. You use that tag to repost their story onto your brand account and then select a winner for the best story. When working with competitions and giveaways, it's really important to set clear goals. For example, is it to create user-generated brand content or just to get more followers? And be really specific and create a plan. What do you want the entrants to do? What are the rules and parameters for entering? How long will your contest run? Will you use a campaign hashtag to increase visibility of the brand? And how will you notify the winner? For example, you could just send a direct message, or you might tell your audience that you're going to post or do a story on a specific time, a specific day, and they should comment on that. That's going to increase visibility again, engagement on your posts, which is going to make the Instagram algorithm push your content further. There is a concept on Instagram called shoutouts. A shoutout is when someone mentions your brand on their Instagram and asks their followers to check out your Instagram page. They can also showcase some of your products or one of your Instagram pictures and tag your brand. You can search relevant hashtags and look for pages that are regularly shouting out about other pages. So on Instagram, it's not always personal profiles that do this, which is more of an influencer strategy. There are also dedicated accounts set up just for the sake of talking about specific types of content. They're not led by any one person, they're a branded page on Instagram. When looking for pages that you can reach to get shoutouts, always check for relevant pages from within your niche. You will find a lot of general pages, but you want to work with ones that specifically talk about your market. While you can work with an influencer to do a shout out, as we discovered previously, there are dedicated pages set up for this purpose that are industry specific and have already gained a large following that you can leverage. These accounts are generally much cheaper, and you can get a shout out post for anywhere from $10 to $50. And you can get free shout outs by approaching accounts with a similar following and proposing a shout out for shout out, where you shout out their profile from your account. However, this is not ideal as you're directing your followers away from your brand, and often it doesn't look good for your brand image. However, you might do this in the beginning before you really have many followers. So here's a great example of a shout out page. Travel.placex, 194,000 followers. Really high quality content, as you can see in the posts, and they're using featured highlights to feature stories. If you then click on features, you can see on one of their recent featured stories, they had a beautiful photo of this place in Berlin, in Germany, and they tagged the Instagram account that this photo had come from, Vera P. If you then click on that, you'll see it takes you across to Vera's profile, which is a travel profile. This is a real person, not a page. It's an individual account for this person. But as you can see, Vera only has 331 followers currently. So Vera is using a shout out from accounts with a much larger following, almost 200,000 followers, to gain followers across to her profile from a relevant interest niche. With these pages, you don't need to invest time in engaging with their content first like you do with an influencer. You just message them and ask them how much for them to do a shout out of your page. There is a really good website called shoutcart.com, and it's a marketplace to purchase niche relevant shoutouts from pages as low as $10. So I had a quick look, and I looked at the pet category for dogs, and I came across this account, Puppies of Instagram. It has 317,000 followers, and you'll see within the description, the owner of this account even breaks down the demographic of following, who are mainly USA and UK. The main age group is 18 to 39, and the best posting time is 10 AM to 4 PM Pacific time. So it's really good to see the owner of this account is aware of the statistics and is communicating that across. You can then see recent media on the right-hand side to get an understanding of the level and type of content they're publishing. And you can see Shoutcart's success rate at 93%. So this is a really good indication, and you can see they've been a member on the top right since September 13, 2017. So this isn't their first time, they've been around a while and they know exactly what they're doing. If I come down to the pricing, I could then purchase a 2-hour shoutout for $11 or a permanent shoutout which will stay on the profile for $40. So while competition, giveaways and shoutouts are great, the most effective way to build a highly engaged audience is to focus on producing high quality, relevant, value-driven content for your audience. Then get visibility for your content using smaller, highly engaged hashtags. And there are also hashtags that are monitored by larger accounts, and if you publish a really good quality post, they will shout out the post organically on their own profile. So keeping with the theme of baking, on that baking lovers hashtag that we used in the previous lesson, I came across this account, the feedfeed.baking. And on the bio of this page, you'll see it states, our daily baking feed featuring recipes shared by the feed, which is obviously their parent account, from the IG community, Instagram community, who tag hashtag feedfeed at the feed. So if you were to publish a really good baking recipe post, put the hashtag feedfeed on it and tag the account, the feed, you stand a chance of being featured on this account, which has 180,000 followers. So if we look at this recent post, you can see that the account featured this recipe. And in the description of this post, they said, wrap us up in a blanket of flaky puff pastries and we'll be happy. And then they tagged the account that this recipe came from. So as you can see, they're complementing the account, they're including a link, they're including relevant hashtags, and because this account is highly engaged and has a really good following, Instagram's going to prioritize this post in their algorithm as they did as it showed up in the top posts on the Baking Lovers hashtag. This is a really good way to get really high quality content that you post featured on much larger accounts, and as you can see, this post had 1,800 likes. So a large percentage of the people that liked this post will be clicking onto this person's profile and following them as they really like the content of this post. Once you've started to build up a following, Instagram stories are a really powerful way of engaging your audience. The stories are only live for 24 hours and could be a maximum of 15 seconds each. When you have more than 10,000 followers, you can tell your audience to swipe up in the story, which will take them to a target link of your choice. And if you think about this, you could tell them to swipe up to get up to 70% off and take them through into your ManyChat flow. You want to add hashtags to your stories to get more visibility and reach from your stories. And use the story highlights on your Instagram profile to make your stories visible past the 24 hours permanently. Encourage your audience to post pictures of your products to their own stories and tag your Instagram account, and that allows you to then repost their stories onto your profile. Once you've done that, you can then download your followers' Instagram stories by using the website storysaver.net, and you can use this as future brand content on your website and social media platforms, not only on Instagram, but also Facebook and other areas like YouTube, where you might consider putting together a number of your followers' Instagram stories featuring your products, and then uploading it to YouTube, giving it your brand name, so when people are searching Google for your brand, they come across a YouTube video full of user-generated content saying how great your products are. So when publishing stories, there is a specific format that you have to use. The aspect ratio is 9:16, but more importantly, the size of the video is 1080 pixels wide by 1920 pixels high. The easiest and most simplest way to do this is to use your smartphone and use it vertically. As we know, the timing is 15 seconds, but you can publish unlimited 15-second stories. And be careful not to put anything important at the top or the bottom of the story, as it can be cut off on smaller screens. There are lots of creative ways to use Instagram stories, and here are some ideas. A limited time offer and promotion, think about Black Friday. Giveaways and discount coupons, so maybe once or twice a month you do a flash sale and give away a social media promotion code to one of your products on Amazon. Lists and countdowns, so maybe counting down to a new product launch and telling your audience if they want to take part in the launch to direct message you. Storytelling, Give your followers insight into your brand developments that make a part of your journey. If you're visiting China to see your factory, or maybe you've received some samples, talk about the samples and talk about the quality of the product on your brand's Facebook stories. And how-to tutorials using your products. So if you're in baking again, you could do a daily recipe, for instance, where you take a couple of minutes to walk through a recipe, or maybe a weekly recipe that's more in depth. Often overlooked, a really good way of using Instagram stories is for data, research, and statistics. So you could ask your audience on Instagram what products do they want, and using the poll feature on your Instagram stories, they can respond and tell you exactly what products to launch next. And all of those respondents become your launch list for your next product. And posting quotes and inspiration that connects with your target audience is a really good way to keep them engaged and boost the Instagram algorithm through likes and comments. So in this lesson we covered, Instagram is a powerful way to build an audience and then direct that influence to boost traffic, sales, and reviews. Competitions and giveaways are good for quickly increasing your following. Instagram ads and working with influencers enable you to get in front of relevant audiences with your offer. And when you have over 10,000 followers, you can include a link in the Instagram story and tell your audience to swipe up. In the next lesson, you will learn how to deal with hijackers. In the meantime, start following brands and influencers in your market and other markets for inspiration. Enter into a brand's competition to understand how it works. And if you are not familiar with Instagram, open an account and start playing with the different features on stories like polls and countdown timers. Design a competition and approach influencers to promote it. And then find a shout-out profile and approach them to do a shout-out for your brand. I'll see you in the next lesson.